Tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori calls on 3 tiers of government to synergize in finding lasting solution to the socio-economic challenges plaguing the nation. State Commissioner for Information assured journalists in the state that their welfare will be top priority in the present administration. Abia State residents celebrate 48 hours of uninterrupted power supply. Abroad, Texas battles second biggest wildfire in U.S. history. A very good evening to you, and good to have you join us on the 8 p.m. news of the Delta Television, the People's Pride. My name is Princess Modi. The 3 tiers of government have been charged to synergize in finding lasting solution to the socio-economic and security challenges plaguing the nation. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori gave the charge at a valedictory Joint Account Allocation Committee meeting with local government chairmen in the state at the ESCO chambers of the Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udueme reports.
Governor Oborevwori said he was impressed with the harvest of produce in all the local government areas, stressing that local government administrators needed to perform optimally because they were the closest tier of government to the grassroots.
Since I've been sworn in for the past 8 months, I have never interfered with what people are doing at the local government. We gave people that freedom, and you came out with projects. You're able to manage the funds in your local government. Today we see harvest of projects in all the local government. People have done very well. My wish for you people is for you to continue to succeed in all your endeavors. And I believe that what you have done in your local government, the people will continue to remember you. Because you are close, you are the closest people to the grassroots.
He asserted that he was a firm believer of the autonomy of local governments and total separation of powers, affirming that his administration would not pilfer funds meant for councils. The governor said being in office was a privilege, adding that the best way to leave a lasting legacy was through human capital and infrastructural development. While scoring the outgoing council chairmen high in their performance index, Governor Oborevwori assured them that they would be part of his administration.
I'm happy to work with you. And I know that in a few days from now, you will be exiting. But first and foremost, we thank God for your successful tenure. We give God praise. What is more important? Things that you'll be remembered for. It gives me joy since December when I was receiving messages from council chairmen for commissioning of projects, legacy projects. I was just looking and say, is it a dream? Council chairman commissioning, want me to come and commission projects?
The Delta State chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, AGON, and chairman of the Eka North-East Local Government, Honorable Victor Ebonka, among other council chairmen, thanked Governor Oborevwori and his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, for giving them the platform to prove their mettle, as well as assuring that their monthly allocations got to them untouched.
More than 30,000 pensioners have been paid, and the payment is ongoing, hitch-free. We remain eternally grateful to you. Your Excellency, one major attribute that makes me proud of this our noble state, it commenced from the immediate past administration, is non-pilfering non-interfering with the local government funds.
We are men under authority, as we exit for our brothers that are exiting after 6 years, and for us that are in our first tenure. Anytime you call upon us, we are ready to answer. Thank you, His Excellency.
Meeting that in the next 4 days, we are going to commission another health center that was built from the scratch, Uburumo Health Center in Sapele local government. And we are going to also distribute health equipment to 13 health centers within the next 4 or 5 days before we leave office.
Skill acquisition program we are back on. We launched a program known as EVESA, Ethiopia West Visible Entrepreneurship Skill Acquisition, where we train youths in various skills. So far, over 200 youths in our first edition were successfully trained.
The AGON chairman used the forum to thank the governor for approving the employment of 40 new teachers in Patani local government area, in addition to the earlier approval for recruitment in the 3 senatorial districts of the state. Ejime Uduime reporting.
State is the entertainment hub of Nigeria and a state that will always be in the forefront of the creative economy. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, made the assertion today when the Delta International Theatre and Arts Festival, DITA Fest, organizing committee, paid him a visit in his office in Asaba. Sam Sokojite reports.
Dr. Emu, who was represented by the functioning permanent secretary in his office, Mr. Tony Aboa, said the state had been the entertainment capital of Nigeria, recalling landmark entertainment events and established tourism legacies such as the Miriam Babangida Leisure Park and Film Village, as well as the strides of innumerable entertainment icons of Delta origin. The SSG was pleased with the organizing committee's proposals to use the International Theatre and Art Festival to boost the entertainment and tourism sectors of the state's creative economy, promising to look through it for a positive outcome.
Delta State is always in the forefront of so many things. I thank God we visited the Meribagda, but I to see it. Government, state government always gives assistance to so many bodies that are positively trying to contribute, invest into the state.
Earlier, the director of the Delta International Theatre and Art Festival, Comrade Alex Akbu, solicited the state government support in replicating the festival in the state like other states in the country. Mr. Akbu said the festival would bring in foreign investors and boost the state's rich tourism potentials, as well as develop and export local content, adding that Delta had been acclaimed one of the most peaceful states in the country, an environment currently attracting foreigners.
This event also has that capacity to bring investors in the area of entertainment and tourism development.
The International Theatre and Art Festival is billed to hold from August 14th through 18th, with major events such as exhibitions, lectures, tourism tours, among others lined up for the festival. Sams Opojite reporting.
Journalists in the state have been assured that the welfare will be a top priority in the present administration. The State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Soza, gave the assurance during the monthly Congress of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Delta State Council at the Press Center in Asaba. Caroline Ubini reports.
Dr. Soza said the leadership of Governor Sheriff Obolowori would not relent in his effort at ensuring that journalists were carried along in the scheme of things, even in the face of the current economic crisis facing the nation. He appealed to journalists to always clarify facts before publishing and not take pleasure in publishing negative reports about the state.
The governor has set up a very high-powered committee, and the governor gave us 1 week to turn in our report towards DBS and our media houses so that we can find a lasting solution to this. Thank you very much.
The Information Commissioner told the members of the Fourth Estate that Governor Obolowori had set up a committee to holistically look into the issues facing the state-owned media houses and provide a lasting solution to enable the media houses become the envy of others in the nation. He reaffirmed that the governor would always be available to address issues as they arose and urged journalists to remain professional in their duties.
State belongs to all of us. For those that live in Delta, Delta State belongs to all of us. There's no discrimination as to where you are from, but as long as you call Delta home, please let's do things that will ensure that Delta progresses. Unlike reporting things that are negative, but when you see positive things, please let's report it. And let's hear the other side of the story.
The state chairman of the NUJ, Comrade Churchill, said the monthly congresses provided opportunity for members to interface and discuss issues facing the union, as well as provide solutions where necessary.
This Congress is a monthly meeting, a meeting where we meet to address pressing issues affecting the union, and of course, as it also concerns the state and nation in general.
Caroline Ubini reporting.
Panorama, a weekly sensitization and awareness public affairs radio program, has begun on the Voice of Delta, the radio arm of the Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba Station. The one-hour live phone-in program is the initiative of the Delta State Orientation Bureau, designed to bring government closer to the people by informing the public about policies, programs, and achievements of government. The program also aims to speak against societal ills and the need for the citizenry to willingly perform their civic responsibilities, encourage attitudinal change, uphold moral values, honesty, hard work, and the need to always exhibit the spirit of patriotism. Speaking during the maiden edition of the program yesterday in Asaba, the Chief Executive Officer of the State Orientation Bureau, Dr. Latimore Oganasiwe, dwelt on the ongoing admission at the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, and the Short Service Commission enlistment into the Nigerian Air Force. He urged eligible youths across the state to apply for admission by logging on to www.ndaapplications.net. The NDA is the military academy for the Army, Navy, and Air Force, while successful applicants are to undergo academic exercise for 4 years and compulsory 1-year military training, making a total of 5 years. Those commissioned as officers are meant to serve in any of the sister forces. Dr. Oganasiwe listed some of the benefits or gains of joining the armed forces, to include good pay and pension and a prestigious career with national honors. The Senate today directed the Police Service Commission and the Nigeria Police Force to recruit a minimum of 10 candidates from each of the 774 local government areas in the country. That directive, according to the upper chamber, should form part of the force's annual recruitment processes. The resolution was reached following a motion moved by Senator Emmanuel Menga, representing Benue Northeast, on the need for the Police Service Commission and the Nigerian Police Force to adhere to the federal character principle in the recruitment of constables in the police force. The upper chamber also directed the committees on police affairs and legislative compliance to ensure compliance with the directive. This is as a bill for an act to establish the National Assembly Budget and Research Office, scaled second reading today. It eventually passed the bill sponsored by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barawo Jibrin, will provide the National Assembly with objective, timely, and non-partisan analysis needed for economic and budget decisions. Meanwhile, the Senate yesterday summoned the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, and the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bennett Igwe, over the murder of Chris Agidi, an aide to Senator Ned Nwoko, by kidnappers. The upper chamber resolved that the FCT Minister and the Police Commissioner should appear to brief the Red Chamber on the increasing cases of kidnapping in the nation's capital city. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by Senator Nwoko on the kidnap and killing of his senior legislative aide, Mr. Agiri, who was reportedly kidnapped along with 19 others in the Galadimawa area of Abuja in November last year. Following an exhaustive debate on Senator Nwoko's motion, the House also resolved that the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, should urgently increase security patrols and surveillance within Abuja and across the nation as a proactive measure against kidnappings. It directed the installation of CCTV cameras in strategic locations within and around Abuja highways, adding that the police should dedicate a 3-digit emergency number for effective emergency response. In another development, the House of Representatives has exonerated the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, Mr. Mohammed Bello Koko, of 178 billion naira in bad debt allegations as contained in the 2019 audited financial statement of the authority. The chairman of the House Committee on Public Petitions, Mr. Mike Etaba, dismissed the allegations at a public hearing held at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja, yesterday. The Forum of Non-Government Organizations in Nigeria had accused the NPA and Mr. Bello Koko of complicity in the mismanagement of 178 billion naira for bad debt in the agency's audited financial statement. At the resumption of the public hearing yesterday, the forum failed to appear before the committee to defend its allegations. Disappointed by the absence of the forum, the House Committee dismissed the petition for lack of merit, saying the petitioner had failed to appear before the committee to prove its allegations against the NPA and the MD, sequel to its petition. The forum had requested that the management of the NPA be invited to address the growth of the alleged debt from 135 billion naira in 2018 to 173 billion naira in 2019. The House of Representatives has directed the Joint Admission Matriculations Board, JAMB, to extend the registration for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME examination, by 2 weeks. The House also mandated the relevant Committee on Education and Legislative Compliance to enforce strict compliance with the directive. The decision of the House was sequel to the adoption of a motion moved at plenary today by Honorable Bello Shinkafi. Moving the motion, the lawmaker said JAMB was established by law to register and conduct UTME for the purpose of admitting candidates into the tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Honorable Shinkafi noted that the 2024 UTME, which commenced on the 15th of January, ended on the 26th of February, adding that due to the painful economic situation prevailing in the country, many families were constrained from registering their wards by the timeline. He expressed worry that without an extension of the registration, many candidates would not be able to register and participate in the exercise, saying that meant there will not be wide coverage and participation in this year's UTME in the country. The House therefore resolved to mandate JAMB to extend the registration by 2 weeks to enable the anticipated potential candidates register for the 2024 UTME. Residents of Aba, Abia State are celebrating 48 hours of uninterrupted power supply following the installation of the geometric power plant, first of its kind in the country. Since 1 out of 4 turbines at the plant was switched on Sunday, some sections of Aba have been enjoying uninterrupted power supply. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, on Monday commissioned the power plant, 20 years after the project was initiated by former Minister of Power, Mr. Bat Naji. And still to come, Texas battles second biggest wildfire in the U.S. history. Stay with us.
Hello, my bro. Man, the rain is so heavy here. And there's so much traffic. I think we should go score now.
Not a chance. Aisha.
We don't quit, guys. I'll be there.
Done.
2 files received.
I'm on my way. Take first right in 50 meters and you're there.
Copy that. Aisha, where are you?
Guess where?
2 minutes, 2 minutes, move! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runway X.
The future of fashion showcasing.
Very impressive. How did you pull that off?
With Nigeria's top tech talents.
And Glow?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow with pride.
Welcome back. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
A rapidly spreading Texas wildfire has killed one person, forced residents to evacuate, cut off powers to homes and businesses, and briefly paused operations at a nuclear weapons facility. The second largest fire in Texas history has burned 850,000 acres of land north of the city of Amarillo. Texas Governor Mr. Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 60 counties as dry grass, high temperatures, and strong winds have fueled the conflagration. In Houston County, one of the hardest hit areas, Public Engagement Coordinator Mr. Deidre Thomas told reporters that one person had died in the fire. The Texas A&M Forest Service update cited that the winds had diminished slightly, helping to moderate the fire spread. Rain was expected in the state's northern panhandle today, which may aid efforts to extinguish the blaze. South Korea's government is threatening to take legal action against thousands of striking junior doctors and revoke their medical licenses if they do not return to work today. Around 3/4 of the country's junior doctors have walked out of their jobs over the past week, causing disruptions and delays to surgeries at major teaching hospitals. The trainee doctors are protesting government plans to admit drastically more medical students to university each year to increase the number of doctors in the system. South Korea has one of the lowest doctor-to-patient ratios among developed countries, and with a rapidly aging population, the government is warning there will be an acute shortage within a decade. The empty corridors of St. Mary's Hospital in Seoul this week gave a glimpse of what the future might look like, as there was barely a doctor or patient to be seen in the triage area outside the emergency room, with patients who want to stay away. Junior and trainee doctors argued that those salaries in South Korea were relatively high. Given their work hours, they could end up earning less than the minimum wage. The doctors said prices of emergency, life-saving surgeries and specialist care had been set too low, while less essential treatments like cosmetic surgeries pay too much, which makes doctors opt to work in more lucrative fields in the big cities, leaving rural areas understaffed and emergency rooms overstretched. Reports said patience with the doctors was running out from both the public and the healthcare workers needing to pick up extra work, as nurses have warned they were being forced to carry out procedures in operating theaters that would normally fall to their doctor colleagues. A teenager has been jailed for carrying out what is thought to be Australia's first school shooting. The 15-year-old from Perth fired 3 shots with 2 rifles at Atlantis Beach Baptist College last May. Staff and students were left cowering in cupboards and under decks before police eventually arrested him. The judge who sentenced him to 3 years in juvenile detention said luck had prevented a tragic outcome. Report says no one was hurt in the shooting, which was believed to be the first of its kind in Australia. Lawyers and Perth Children's Court Judge, Mr. Helton Quay, was unable to find any record of a similar case anywhere in the nation. The boy's lawyer, Mr. Simeon Freitag, had told Judge Kroll to consider a non-custodial term as his client was suffering from depression at the time and had undergone autism spectrum disorder. He added that the boy was despondent due to a failed relationship and rumors that were being spread about him. 2 of the shots he fired struck buildings as the school located in Perth's northern suburb went into lockdown. The age of its students ranges from 6 to 16.
Steel valued at $4 billion every year. Audu announced this today while on a familiarization tour of the National Metallurgical Development Center, NMDC, in Jos. He mentioned that 70,000 Nigeria steel is imported and added that President Bola Tinubu is committed to reversing this trend. The minister emphasized that steel development is crucial for industrialization, arguing that the steel industry is essential for any country's industrial advancement. Mr. Audu further stated that the president tasked the Ministry of Steel Development with the transformation and revitalization of Nigeria's steel industry, noting that his visit to the NMDC was in pursuit of fulfilling this directive. The federal government has announced that about $22.82 billion is expected to be invested in 1,068 oil and gas projects approved between 2022 and 2023. These projects, which span across the nation, mark a pivotal moment for the sector, promising substantial economic benefits and enhanced production capabilities. This announcement was made during a panel session at the 7th Nigeria International Energy Summit in Abuja. The Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, noted the nation's technical capability to produce 2.26 million barrels of crude oil per day. Mr. Komolafe pointed out that the current gap between Nigeria's actual oil production, averaging 1.33 million barrels per day, and its technical potential. He identified this as a golden opportunity for investors to tap into, offering a chance to bolster the nation's revenue, bridge the foreign exchange gap, and enhance economic resilience. A federal high court in Lagos has ordered 3 Indian nationals to pay the sum of 98.2 million naira and an additional $325,000 to an 87-year-old businessman, Mr. Isaac Ogini, for breach of fair hearing and the clear provisions of Section 262 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. Justice Ayokunle Faji also declared that the octogenarian remains a director of his 3 companies, Bolawole Enterprises Nigeria Limited, Lesag Nigeria Limited, and Intermanagement Nigeria Limited. The Indians ordered to pay the judgment sum by the court order are Mr. Jai Gupta and his 2 sons, Vinay and Rachit. In his statement of claims, the octogenarian, represented by his lawyer Yakubu Galadima, sought to declare that he was a director and remained a director of the 3 companies listed as first, second, and third defendants in the suit. He also sought a declaration that as the first subscriber and director in the first to third defendants, he was entitled to certain benefits, advantages, and relief from the activities of the 3 companies. Delivering judgment, Justice Faji held that no reasons were given by the defendants for the removal of the plaintiff, which showed a breach of the right to a fair hearing and the clear provisions of Section 262 of CAMA. The judge noted that the crux of the issue was whether or not the provisions of the law regarding notice for extraordinary general meetings had been fulfilled. And now to our thought for the day. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invincible into the visible. To end the news, here are the highlights. The 3 tiers of government have been charged to synergize in finding lasting solutions to the socio-economic and security challenges plaguing the nation. Governor Sharif Oborevwori gave the charge at a valedictory joint account allocation committee meeting with local government chairmen in the state at the ESCO chambers of the Government House, Asaba. Journalists in the state have been assured that their welfare will be a top priority in the present administration. The State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Soza, gave the assurance during the monthly Congress of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Delta State Council at the Press Center in Asaba. Residents of Aba, Abia State are celebrating 48 hours of uninterrupted power supply following the installation of the geometric power plant, first of its kind in the country. Since 1 out of 4 turbines at the plant was switched on Sunday, some sections of Aba have been enjoying uninterrupted power supply. And that's our news. Many thanks for being a part of it. Have yourselves a blissful night rest. My name is Princess Modi. Good evening.